I also found it interesting earlier this week, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was talking about buying new strikers at the club. And he said, yeah, of course, it's something that we're going to look at. You don't want to get lost in the transfer market to other teams, competitors for the Premier League title. And he name-dropped you, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Wayne Rooney as examples of him being at the club, amongst other strikers as well. And Sir Alex Ferguson bringing in other strikers, even though what was already on the books was outstanding as it was. I mean, how is this handled within the club? How do you keep players happy? How do you keep them motivated, knowing their position could be under threat, and to ensure that they're able to step up and not crumble under the pressure of that? How was it handled with you?
Well, the thing is about United, when you goes in there, you ultimately you kind of think to yourself, well, hold on a minute. I know I was a good player, and then until I get to the United dressing room and realize, hey, I have some work to be done. The fact that training is very competitive. If you're not really performing in training, you're going to be left out and you're going to be left behind, because that's what United brings to the table. When you train with these players week in, week out, if you're not performing in training, you won't get in. So hence that's why Ollie is saying, because he's been on the receiving end, he hasn't been a regular while we were playing, although he was an integral part in our team. He recognized that each time, by the moment I was messed up or Coley was messed up, he was ready to pounce. So he will have that experience as a player, and he will want to make sure he inherit that into the system and continue that inheritance into Manchester United policy in terms of the young players understanding it. And that's why he was saying in his press conference, no player should be guaranteed. You've got to continue to work hard. We want that here. We want the training session should be competitive. We want healthy competition in training to make sure you keep the players on their toes, to make sure that they can perform at the level that is expected at Manchester United week in, week out. And it's simple as that. You don't perform, you don't get in the team. And that's always been the golden rule at Man United.
Was it always Roy Keane, out of interest, who was the one who ensured that all the players were always bringing their A game in training? Obviously, there's so many stories about Roy Keane, but what's your take on that?
Yeah, you kind of know if you don't pull your socks up in training, you get the captain barking at you most of the time. So that's what it is. I mean, you recognize when you go to United the quality in training, that if you didn't really perform, then you realize you're going to get left out. And it was simple as that. And even at the youth policy, there was young players watching at that, looking to step up into the first team. So you always been on your toes. There was no easy moment. There was no going through the motion at the time at United. And I think that is what Ollie's trying to bring back, that competitiveness in training, to make sure that keep everyone on their toes week in, week out.
Are you seeing that same sort of leadership that you got from Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel, Gary Neville, all the leaders in your period at Manchester United in the present-day squad? Or is it an archaic sort of memory, because perhaps players can't be spoken to like that by other players anymore?
Yeah, the game has moved on. There's no doubt. I don't think some of these players will be able to take verbal sort of message from Roy Keane or a Peter Schmeichel shouting down your ear, or someone like a Gary Neville moaning at you all the time. This is a new era. It's about man management and make sure you got your message through without really upsetting them too much or putting your arms. There are some players do need a little bit of a rollicking at times to make sure that you keep them on their toes, but generally speaking, now it's all about man management, how you go about, how to get the best out of these players, how you approach them. And Ollie, as an individual, is not really that type of manager. He's soft-spoken. He will put an arm around you because he, as a player himself, he needed that. There was, I've seen people shout at Ollie in the training and really went into his shell. So he's not that type of individual, although I'm sure if anyone crosses him, he'll be able to sort them out with an iron fist. But yeah, I think Ollie will have a different approach to the old school way. I think the old school way doesn't exist in football anymore, although it's still a little bit, but not like it used to be in Gary and my time, certainly.
Yeah, luckily he's got Mike Phelan and Michael Carrick to help him out as well, amongst all the other backroom staff.